All right, welcome everybody.
Hello.
This is I really wish that we had been like keeping track of the number of episodes that we've done so far so that I could say this is the 35th call that we've made so far, but I'm not honestly sure. I'll have to go back and check that out.
Quick, somebody, what's 8 times 4?
32?
Minus 2.
Not minus 32?
I'm going to go 32 minus 2. This is the 30th call we've done.
I'm just imagining people listening right now going, really? Is it 30 exactly? All right, that's pretty good.
Should be. We're called every week, except for a couple.
So this week, those of you who have signed up for the newsletter will know, and if you haven't, you should. We are calling to simultaneously denounce Trump's ban on transgender troops and voice our support for an equality bill that will bring sexual orientation, gender identification, etc., under the protected umbrella, so that will not be legal to discriminate against. The House version of this bill is HR 2282, which is the one that was included in the newsletter, and it would amend the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So that's our jam today.
Strategy to take one step back, but try for 2 steps forward.
Exactly. And there had been some confusion because some people had reported that James Mattis, who's the Secretary of Defense, had frozen the ban, but that is actually not the case. It is in the guidelines of the memo that he was given to have a waiting period so that they can do a study to determine how to address transgender individuals currently serving in the U.S. military. And then they will submit the report, and then the goal is March 23rd of 2018, the ban will take full effect. So he's not pushing back. He can't really. There's not, but short of the president revoking his decision, there isn't really anything that Mattis can do. And so he's just following the orders as they're written. So, Karen, you said that you wanted to mention the history of what's...
Yeah. So I did a little research. I got to thinking about integration in the military, and I was curious how it had worked out in the past and why we're so concerned about this. All right. So turns out 1948, although we had previously allowed Black people to serve, as you all recall if you saw the movie Glory, we didn't let them, be officers and stuff. So in 1948, Truman said, we're going to have complete racial integration. Everybody gets a chance to have any job they want. They can pass the test, they're in. There was some concern among the ranks that would maybe lead to having to be friends with Black people. But by 1952, just 4 years later, it was deemed a smashing success. Everybody loved it. I found a report from the time, from 1952, with the quote, "Not one top military official will fundamentally question the policy of integration." So everybody's like, this is great. So that actually worked, and it worked well, and it worked fairly quickly. So then I was interested about women in the military. They've been there, Rosie the Riveter et al. I found a great story, Deborah Sampson Gannett, in the Revolutionary War. They didn't take women, but they did if you had your brother's name and lied about who you were and wore a hat. So
wait, can you?
And went to fight for.
Karen, can you slow down and say that again, because you're breaking up kind of bad all of a sudden, and I think we're going to miss part of what you're saying.
I will slow down, and I will try to keep it together and not break up.
I don't know. You went robot-y and pixelated, and you've been fine up until now, so I don't know what's happening.
It's Technology.
Stupid.
Deborah Sampson Gannett signed up for the Revolutionary War. She had to lie about her name. She used her brother's name so that she could fight for the revolution. And at one point, she got shot on the battlefield and cut a musket ball out of her own leg so that doctors wouldn't see that she was a lady. So she does us all proud. In World War I, the U.S. Navy and Marines decided to explicitly allow women to enlist. Because it was World War I and they needed some people. By World War II, 350,000 women were serving. And in the Gulf War, they actually put them on the same boats and sent them off to do the same job. The USS Acadia was one example. So that is great. And it was like 30% women. It wasn't like a lady. They just had an integrated crew. That's the Gulf War, early 90s. Some of you might be old enough to remember. But in 1994, they're like, no. And they banned women from combat. But women continued to serve at this station anyway, winning silver stars and whatnot, because in fact, women are amazing. So in 2013, they lifted the ban, and women now can get any job that they can pass a test for. And so nothing is excluded to women in the military. 2013, so we haven't had much time to see how that's going, but I'm going to guess it's going to go great. So how about the LGB part of LGBT? Before World War II, there was actually no explicit ban, but sodomy was illegal. So you could get drummed out for that, and occasionally people were. In World War II, the Korean War, in Vietnam, they decided that homosexuality was a mental defect, and you could get discharged from that. And again, some of you may be old enough to remember Corporal Klinger trying to get discharged. And in 1982, they went ahead and made it an explicit ban. And they just said no gays in the military, and they discharged 17,000 people. Probably a mistake.
Jesus Christ, we are so dumb.
Because those are people that were serving their country. In 1993, Clinton famously put into place Don't Ask, Don't Tell, saying that you couldn't just kick people out for being gay, as long as they didn't admit they were gay, which is better a little, but terrible. Just terrible. And so that's the state we were in when Obama just went ahead and repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell and said, we don't care, it's okay. As I said to Sarah, let your freak flag fly. 2010 is when that happened. So they've been in a little longer than women. Yeah, so there's that. Now, as far as transgender people, that was never particularly allowed, although there's certainly examples through our military history of people who did. But it was explicitly banned in the early 60s. And Obama, in June of 2016, on his way out, lifted that ban and gave the military 1 year to figure it out. So that clock started ticking June last year and said, figure out what you're going to do about showers and barracks. I don't care, but they're going to be able to do whatever people can do because they're people. And guess what? Spoiler, they're already there. All right, so that brings us to a year later, July. Trump tweeted, no, that wasn't going to happen. And then, like Natasha just told us, that is now moving forward to stay banned. Big mistake. It's been fine. It's been fine. We have a volunteer army. All of these groups, they want to contribute. It's been fine.
It's just like really startling to me every time somebody tries to act like, well, this is going to start this whole new thing. No, it's been happening.
Yeah.
And now we're just going to make it explicitly allowed, which is totally not the same thing as suddenly being like, oh, we're just ushering in a new era of gender identification. No, this has been a thing, guys. You have just been not on the same page.
So that gay people don't have to lie about who they are, so that women don't have to cut bullets out of their own leg, you know.
Oh, God.
All right. That was my little history lesson. I hope you enjoyed
Yay.
it.
Nice.
Who knows what has been happening to get pushed back? Like, who's fighting this?
Yeah, so the ACLU launched their big suit on Monday, which was 3 days after Trump signed his executive order. And just a nice little tidbit is when he did his tweet storm on the morning of July 26th. It was the 69th anniversary of President Harry Truman signing the executive order to desegregate the armed forces.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I just read that order. It was a good order.
So they have a 39-page lawsuit that has, I think, 6 plaintiffs. They are using, so they have one, and then they also have the National Center for Lesbian Rights and GLBTQ Legal Advocates and Defenders have also done the same kind of lawsuits, and they're using the argument of equal protections and due process clauses in the Constitution. And so what that is no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. And yeah, that's what Trump is doing.
It's pretty straightforward.
So, and like, this isn't something like weird that's only like a US thing. Like in 1974, the Netherlands allowed trans people to serve in their troops, and then from
What year was that?
Sorry, what?
What year was that?
1974. So, a cool 50 years ago.
Right.
And then Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Australia, Canada, Israel, Czech Republic, UK, France, Germany, Estonia, Finland, Belgium, Austria, Spain, Thailand, and Bolivia all allow trans people
Wow.
to serve.
So we're on the
So
wrong
it's not
side
just-
here.
Yeah.
Yep. We tend to be flipping that coin pretty often now and landed on the wrong side. But yeah, so that's where the lawsuits are right now. And, other people are suing them as well, along with the ACLU. And, the ACLU is representing people from the Navy, the Air Force, the Army. I think they even have a Marine or 2 in there. So,
There was actually a little bite from them on their page that said transgender men and women have been barred despite the fact that recent studies show about 1/5 of all transgender adults are veterans, making transgender people approximately twice as likely as others to serve in the military. Which,
because they're badass. They're
Right.
some badass people.
Well, I was just going to say, it seems like it's a small slice of the pie when you think about the whole universe of everyone in the military. But if they are that likely to want to support their country and serve their country in the military, why would we say no?
this is the thing that I keep just being like, but it just feels like we shoot ourselves in the foot so frequently in the effort to make a stand on something that doesn't make sense to make a stand on because it's none of your damn business. So just stop.
Right.
But, I guess we could just, pick and choose since we have so many people who are interested in serving. Lord knows, practically overrun.
Yeah,
Fill
soldiers.
up those bones first.
What's that?
Oh!
What, I missed that. What?
I totally miss it.
The bones
Uh,
wonderful.
Every time she starts to talk, Karen starts to talk and I miss it.
She's just so snarky. Go ahead, Sarah. I'll pipe down.
The bone spurs, they'll get you.
Bone spurs. Ah,
Oh.
God.
But on a positive note, Karen pointed out a really good quote from one of our representatives, Polis, who's awesome. And, he kind of just summed it up perfectly, saying that military service should be about defending freedoms, not a mechanism to deny them. Transgender Americans should be able to serve our nation based on their merits and abilities. And honestly, that's all that matters is are you a good person and can you live up to the job? That's what the whole issue has been with all of these fights with integrating and women and LGBT. Come on, let's just, if they're fit and ready for action and they want to be there,
And it does seem like Truman had that in mind. And, you know, he was trying to use the military as that's another way to just show us the way. And yeah.
All right. So I'm going to be calling my state House representative on the denouncement of the ban and regarding HR 2282.
Right. I called the Transgender Law Center, and our friend Corinne Green there, I asked her like what would be a great bill to call on, and she suggested the Equality Act. So that's what we're.
And I will be using for the denouncement the script from 5 Calls, which was linked in the newsletter also. So, and then I'm going to be riffing it for support of the equality bill.
Say what you feel.
That's what's happening. Yeah, this is like what an example of getting more confident as you keep making these calls, because I was not riffing it at the beginning. I would not have considered it. And now I'm just like, that'll be fine. All right. Hi there. I wanted to share my opinion on a bill.
Okay, can I please have your name and address?
Sure. My name is Natasha Kingston, Kingston. My address is 915 Ray Drive, Denison 75020.
All right, and what is your message?
I'm calling to ask Representative Ratcliffe to denounce the Trump administration's ban on trans Americans serving in the military. I believe trans Americans who want to serve their country, we need them, and they are trying to do an honorable and correct thing. They have the right to serve their country, even if they need special medical care. And I think it's unacceptable for Trump, the Pentagon, and the Defense Secretary to strip them of these rights. And to build on that, I would also ask Ratcliffe to please support HR 2282, the Equality Act, which would include sexual orientation and gender identity among prohibited categories of discrimination or segregation. And I think that this is a really necessary and moral thing to do. And I think it's the responsibility of America to take care of marginalized communities that are often more at risk and allow them to serve the country that is trying to take care of them.
All right. Well, Ms. Kingston, I will make sure that we forward your message to the congressman. And I've got both of those down, so I'll include both of them. And I appreciate you calling to give us your opinion.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
Hey, that was a nicer person than usual. What's up, guys?
Oh, that guy.
Yay.
I love Texas. Oh, hey, Texas, good luck if you're, I'm sorry.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
It's killing me. So good luck, all of you. We'll call for you
on a donation fund for my birthday.
Hey!
On my Facebook.
I have a few people who I'm friends with who are in a bad way, and it's just, I just can't imagine. We are really lucky. We're just north enough. 1 hour south, and we would be screwed, but we are just out of the way, so.
Next time it could be any of us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Yay! That was my drum roll.
Wish me luck, because I am, tracking with what I've got here for a script. Let's see. See if I have her programmed in already. I may. There's a really good chance. Oh, look at that. Yes, I do. Huh. Well, maybe not. I have her phone number right here in front of me, though, so I will be calling the DC office. 225-621.
Congresswoman Ann Wagner's office.
calling to express my opinion about an issue and a bill. Can I leave that with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What information do you need from me?
I need your first and last name and your zip code.
My first name is Cheryl. Last name is Pryor, P as in Peter, R-E-Y-E-R. My zip code is 63126. You got it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I'm calling to ask Representative Wagner to denounce the Trump administration's ban on transgender Americans serving in our military. These service people, these military people, soldiers, are dedicated to serve our country. I would call them patriots, and it is unacceptable for them to be stripped of their rights. They should be allowed to serve in our military. To further that, I would like to ask Representative Wagner to support the Equality Act, HR 2282.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. All right.
Oh, that was the equivalent of texting back to a paragraph with just the letter K.
Hi.
Thanks, dude.
Well, he got, you know what? That is not an opinion that is going to be shared by that office.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have to call them. In fact, I would like to also call, and I don't have to do it here, Senator Roy Blunt, who is also not going to share this opinion, and Senator Claire McCaskill, who hopefully will share this opinion. She's our go-getter.
Yay.
You're making me want to back up so I can see the rest of you, Cheryl.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just that I just kept moving back and it wasn't helping.
She's
No,
like
I have-
outside her office door waving.
All right. I'm going to go next if that's all right, Sarah.
Yeah, fine with me.
All right. I am calling Senator Cory Gardner, Republican senator from Colorado, who did at least say he disagreed with the ban. So I don't have to ask him to denounce it. He's done that. Well, denounce is strong, but at least he said he disagreed. But so therefore, I'm going to ask him to support 2 pro-LGBT bills. Here goes. All he's got to do is answer. Which the senators never do.
That's true, huh?
This is the Denver office. If this doesn't work, I'll try DC.
Do you tend to have better luck with Denver or DC?
Thank you for calling the office of U.S. Senator Cory Gardner.
Well, for Cory Gardner, actually, often DC. It doesn't make sense to me. And I think I'm going to take a cue from Sarah and save him into my phone right now because
Yeah, I need to do that also.
it's ridiculous that I look it up every time.
Although on 5 calls, you don't have to look it up. It just pops up for you. What's up?
5 calls is amazing.
Hi, this is United States Senator Cory Gardner. Your senator.
All right, well, let's read it then.
Thanks for calling my office. Please feel free to leave a message.
Hi, my name is Karen Suhaka, a voter from Denver, 80203, and I was calling to share my opinion. I am deeply disappointed by Trump's recent ban of transgender people from the military. Any discrimination is ridiculous, but to treat soldiers so shoddily is a special kind of mean. I appreciate the senator's public statement that he doesn't agree with the order, but I would love to see him take positive actions too, like supporting S1006, the Equality Act. And S1570, the LGBT Data Inclusion Act. These kinds of bills will help us move forward now, as well as give us the data we need for continuing to make sound policy in the future. So please support that community by sponsoring them, voting for those bills, and doing whatever you can to actually get them to the floor. Make Colorado proud. Thank you.
Yay.
Good one.
I also want to give a shout out to another bill that Corinne pointed out to me, the gender non-binary bill in California. If anyone is listening in California, you should call the governor on SB 179 and say you'd really like to see that bill moved along. It's to give a third choice for gender on government documents like your driver's license. Just seems like that's okay. That's a good idea. Let's give people the ability, and it lets you self-affirm, so you don't have to like go to a doctor and get a note. You can just put down what you think your gender is.
Nice.
So that's a good bill, SB 179. So if you're in California, call the governor and support that one too. And let's just, let's meet this with an outpouring of love and support everywhere we can. All right, what do you got, Sarah?
I'm going to call Gardner too, so I guess I'll just call DC.
Do it. You don't want to call Bennett?
No.
No, he's already sponsoring our bills, so there's only so much you can do. And I'm going to call and thank my congresswoman.
Hi, this is United States Senator Cory Gardner, your senator from the great state of Colorado. Thanks for calling my office. Please feel free to leave a message.
Hi, my name is Sarah Johnson. I'm a mountain voter from 80435, and I'm calling to ask Senator Gardner to continue to denounce the ban on trans Americans serving in the military. I really appreciate your previous statement, and I hope that you will continue to make statements as this continues to develop. Not only does this send another message to our country that it's okay to discriminate against people, which it's not, but if people have the merit and ability to qualify to serve, we should let them. It's an unacceptable message for us, and we should not be giving it to the country or the world. Along with all the other countries that allow trans people to serve, we need to be with them. And building off of this, I would like to ask Senator Gardner to support the Equality Act. It's high time that we amend the Civil Rights Act to include sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity among the prohibited categories of discrimination or segregation in places of public accommodation. Yeah, it's just time for us to start treating people like people and be nice. And I would really love if the senator would advocate for that and vote that way. Thank you.
Yay.
You're the
Be
best.
nice to the people that might have to go out there and kill other people on our behalf.
Yeah.
Right. They're literally offering to die, and we're like, wow.
Yeah.
We'll work on the underwear, because,
Right.
But I like Sarah saying, it sends a message that it's okay to discriminate. It's not. Because maybe he doesn't know. So you're just going to. All right, ladies. It's a start. I'm going to call my congresswoman and thank her for doing the right thing. So I think that's also important. But you don't have to listen to me do that.
I wish that I could do that. All right. Well, thank you guys, all of you, for being here today. It was exciting to have all four of us. Yay. And everybody who's watching, you're welcome to come on camera and do this too, if you ever want. So send us an email. The email that I'm using now is wethebroadcast@gmail.com.
And we want to ask your immigrant status.
Right. Yeah. You could just show up, just make your call, and don't be nervous at all, because if you looked at some of our previous episodes, we've made some errors, called the wrong people, maybe, had the wrong bill number in front of us, whatever.
And we only ever got criticized by one legislative aide. And
that was true.
And it's gone really well. It's hard to screw up.
And if you are doing it, if you're not going to come on camera, but you are making the calls now, let us know, because I want to hear if there's anybody who's being motivated. So I just want feedback, guys. Just give me that sweet, sweet feedback. All right. Thank you, ladies. And we will see you all next week.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.